Every year at Congregation, UBC has the honor of bestowing honorary degrees upon individuals who, in the opinion of the university community, have fit the criteria of excellence and eminence in their chosen field. Phil Gold is one of those individuals, and I would invite him to step forward to receive his honorary degree.
Dr. Phil Gold is a revered professor of medicine, physiology, and oncology at McGill University, former physician-in-chief of the Montreal General Hospital, and one of this world's most distinguished medical scientists. In 1965, he and a colleague co-authored a seminal paper on their groundbreaking discovery of carcinoembryonic antigen, the first clinically useful human tumor marker and one that is found in 70% of cancer patients. It was a concept-shifting discovery and helped shape the modern era of cancer immunology and tumor markers. This marker remains the most frequently used blood test in oncology around the world today. The impact of this discovery, along with other work in the Division of Clinical Immunology and Allergy at the Montreal General Hospital, led to the establishment of the McGill Cancer Center in 1974, where Dr. Gold was the inaugural director, and the McGill Cancer Center has evolved to become one of the top cancer research institutes in the world. He is also an inspirational teacher, and I am the beneficiary of those lectures. It has been said that his love of teaching, combined with his passion for medicine and science, has drawn universal admiration for his students. He has been instrumental in establishing national programs aimed at inspiring the next generation of clinical scientists, and he has raised extraordinary support for the McGill University medical community and institutions across this nation. Among countless awards and distinctions, he is the recipient of the Gairdner Foundation International Award. He is a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada, a Companion of the Order of Canada, an Officer of the Order of Quebec, and a Laureate of the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, in recognition of his distinguished scientific achievements and for his extraordinary contributions as a physician, teacher, leader, and humanitarian, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, upon Phil Gold.
By the authority of the Senate of this university, it is my distinct pleasure to confer upon you, Phil Gold, the title and degree, Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Please give him another round of applause.
Now it gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Gold to say a few words.
Always wet your whistle. Mr. Chancellor, Professor Ono, Professor Sherry, Dean Kelleher, members of the Platform Party, graduates, above all, parents, family, and friends. I'd like to begin by bringing greetings to Professor Ono, a former student from his alma mater, McGill University. McGill takes great pride in your remarkable achievements, sir, in so many areas over time. Félicitations. I'm truly honored and most grateful to be the recipient of the degree that I've just received. It's really a bonus for me in my career that I've enjoyed in biomedical research, teaching, patient care, and occasionally even administration. And I'm doubly delighted to address this convocation because in many ways, teaching and mentoring of healthcare students and professionals has been the one constant in all areas of my professional life. So I hope that the rest of the audience will forgive me if I speak primarily to our graduates. First, I want to assure you all, as graduates, that you've made all your parents very proud. And today, they will likely forgive you all the angst you caused them as teenagers. So don't forget that, and you may want to use it later on today. I know that the past 4 years have not been a cakewalk for any of you. And as you were receiving your $1 million worth of information, it sometimes seemed that you were getting it a nickel at a time. But you got it, $1 million, and here you are. Now, at talks like this, there's always the desire to point out somewhat philosophically the problems of our society and how you alone can fix that. But Dr. Ono's already done that. So instead, I would like to address you as my colleagues today and about the work to which you've committed your lives. So first, let's talk about how you got to be here. As unique as each of you is, I think we could agree that there are 3 things that determine our lives: genes, environment, and luck. We live in an age of ohms, so we have the genome to look after the genetic aspects of our lives, and your donors here are your parents and the countless generations that preceded them to construct the genome that you now carry and will likely pass along. But for the moment, and I find this a rather daunting thought, you are each an end stage in evolution. Whoa. The environment can be rolled into the epigenome, the alteration of genomic expression by physical and psychological phenomena without changing the gene structure. And that rolls right in to the third factor of luck. To be consistent, for luck, I've coined the term the Fortune Omen. This is not a molecular pathway, but the sum of all the people who have influenced your lives in a fashion that has guided you to this day. And in Tennyson's words, you can each say, I am part of all that I have met, truly. Now that we've established how you got to be here, what do we want from you? Nothing more than you be very good, perhaps great, at your endeavors. And this is not entirely altruistic, I promise you. It's not uncommon in discussions with colleagues to hear the plaintive cry of, who will look after us? Of course, you and your colleagues and contemporaries will. And so that's why the faculty worked so hard to make sure that you could be able to deal expertly with a wide variety of healthcare and research problems in the future. And so here you are, $1 million later, and you're going to look after us. With that in mind, and the excellent backgrounds that I know you've already been given, what message can I leave with you today? We live in an era of rapidly changing knowledge in medicine in general. But some things, I think, remain the same, and that's what I would like to address. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, also Woody Allen's favorite philosopher, famously wrote that life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forward. The key, of course, is not to do anything going forward that may impair or harm a patient because of incomplete knowledge that you will gain with time. Primum non nocere, first do no harm. In this regard, then, let me emphasize that you are never alone. There will always be those that you can turn to in your career, regardless of what stage in your career you are at. You can see patients, there are very few of us who do, without asking for consultation from specialists who know more about something than we do, and there are always those who know more about something than we do. And so in the next few years and beyond, you can always call on colleagues for their expertise and opinion, as they will turn to you for those areas in which you become expert. Never hesitate to call at 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning. The person you call at 3 a.m. may not be happy to be awakened, but they'll be a lot less happy when they see you later in the day if you haven't called. So call. Then I urge you to listen to your patients. Of all the writings of Sir William Osler, arguably the father of modern medicine, the line that stands out in my mind is, listen to your patients, they are telling you the diagnosis. But few of us pay much heed to Osler's advice anymore. In a relatively recent book by Jerome Groopman entitled How Doctors Think, he points out that the time that it takes between the doctor saying, why are you here? Here being the ward, the emergency room, the clinic, and the time the doctor interrupts the patient is between 18 and 19 seconds. You can't learn much in 18 or 19 seconds, so please listen. Beyond listening, never extinguish hope. No matter how bleak a situation may be, the patient must be left with the feeling that everything will be done to alleviate or palliate the problem. Don't minimize the severity of the problem, that wouldn't be fair. But always leave the light of hope before you leave the patient. Along the same lines, always provide comfort. Comfort, I think, is the best medicine that can be delivered through the ear. I believe that about a third of what we do is placebo. So use that placebo to the advantage of the patient. And it's one of the reasons that I think that you're all here today, because you do have that compassion. Finally, if I were asked to summarize medical professionalism in one word, that word would be Menschlichkeit. It's a German term that's been moved into a variety of other languages. I've first heard it from my grandmother many decades ago in Yiddish. To be a Mensch, literally, is to be a person. But Menschlichkeit means much more than that. It means the manifestation of humanity that encompasses empathy, altruism, compassion, and commitment. I think that everyone in this room is capable of that today, all of our graduates. And so I'll take this opportunity to wish you Godspeed and good luck. Thank you.